Hey, this is Shane, point to the word. This is part 6 of my testimony. Last video was about how my fiance and I got into a huge fight, like literally 1 month before our wedding. And so, moving on, we, get married. So everything was cool. Everything was great at the wedding. And then we had a honeymoon in a place called St. Lucia, which is like in the Caribbean. And so, so we're over there. And I guess I had a mindset of like, oh, once we get married, maybe things will change and, things will be better, but they really weren't. And so, we're at St. Lucia on our honeymoon, and one part of that I'll never forget. Like, it's like really humbling now, but back then, like, I see my pride and stuff like that back then. But yeah, one of my memories in St. Lucia was a lot of the guys were like begging for food, like people who. So we were at like like in a certain like resort, like gated off kind of thing, and so people outside who live there. Like we get free amenities and free food, drinks, whatever, and so like people be like selling like just like gifts like bracelets and stuff like outside of the place, and they're like asking for food and stuff. And so one guy, like, I remember I gave him like a burger, and he like gave me some like bracelets, like jewelry kind of stuff, like handmade. And then so there's one point, dude, it was so bad. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel really bad, but what, like, how I acted back then. And so, I I was just walking around, like, probably getting a drink, like, alcohol. And so I'm like walking around, and this guy was like trying to sell me like an aloe leaf, like, and he literally like he put aloe. He went on his like hands and knees, and he put aloe like on my legs. Like, I don't know. It, like, reading the Bible, it like brings me back to like Jesus and like just being a servant, and I feel so prideful, and I don't know, like it when I still have the image in my head, you know what I mean? Like, I feel so bad about that. I wanted to include that because I don't know, I'm just like reflecting back on stuff. So anyway, we're done with St. Lucia. We're back to now we're married, and so things are still happening. Same old, same old. I'm acting the same way, expecting my world to fit my wife, and so I don't know. It's 2013 then, and so a year goes by. Um, Brittany, my wife, is like talking to me, about God and stuff, from time to time, and I tell her, I don't want to hear about it. And we always knew that, like, if we had a child, that, she'd want to teach the kid, about God or whatever. And so, I would say, like, fine, whatever, but that's you. Like, you're doing that. Like, I want no part of that. If you want to go to church or whatever, like, yeah, you guys go ahead. Like, you do whatever you want. Like, I want no part of that. And so, like, I don't know. Like, I thought I was, coexisting or, whatever, like, you know, allowing her to do her thing, but I didn't want any part of it. So, we always had those talks. And so, I don't know, like, she always, like, planted seeds, but I didn't want to hear it. And so, like I mentioned in the other videos, like, her grandma was, like, praying for me and, praying for a godly, husband that my wife would get, which is kind of funny because I, like, my wife got a husband in 2013, and then 2 years after is when God saved me. So, it worked out. And so, moving forward, we're still, button heads and everything. And so eventually 2015 hits, and that's when we found out my wife was pregnant again. And so, um, yeah, we're going forward with that. Like, we're a little, I don't want to say skeptical, but like, I mean, we just had a miscarriage, so, we're trying to, you know, make sure everything's good and, you know, going to the doctor and whatnot. And so, yeah, so like, when now we found out we're having a kid, and so now it like dawns on me, like, hey, yeah, yeah, we're about to grow up, and you know what I mean, like, we're already button heads. Now we're gonna include another family member in our, package, if you will. So, yeah, so then I remember in March of 2015, I began searching. I don't know what sparked, but I remember like going back and like my history of my like on my laptop, like I started downloading messages and stuff. So I thought I researched back and like saw that in March of 2015 is when I started downloading like sermons and stuff. And I don't know like what triggered. I don't know if it was just compounded like seed after seed, or I don't know what it was. Like I really don't. And so yeah, in March of 2015 I started searching for like preachers or sermons or whatever. I had no idea, like no knowledge of denominations or what I mean, like anything, like what who to avoid, who to what I mean, because I thought, oh, preacher is a preacher, they pastor loves God, and so they're all good. And so I'm completely ignorant of everything and oblivious and naive. So I'm downloading these sermons, and I remember listening to like three people. I don't remember who one was, but I remember one was Rick Warren, and the other was a guy named Chuck Missler. Chuck Missler has since passed away. Yeah, Rick Warren is very popular. I wouldn't encourage you to listen to him now, but I remember listening to Rick Warren, and I remember back then it's like I would never pay attention to like sermons. I'd always just like daydream. But Rick Warren like really engaged me, and I would actually like listen like fully to his sermons, and I'm like, holy crap, I like this guy. And so I'm listening to him, and eventually, I don't know what was said, but I'm at work, and I get down on my knees and I pray, and I'm assuming it was like a sinner's prayer kind of thing. And so I I've drank and like smoked a few times, and I don't remember things well, and I wish I knew what was said. I really do, but I don't. And I just know what happened, like the result of it. And so I remember like messaging my sister, because my sister and I were like fighting at the time. I remember like messaging her and saying, I'm really sorry. Like I would you please forgive me for things I've done wrong, because like some Rick Warren said that he like convicted me, you know what I mean? And so like I apologized to my sister, and she ended up like blowing up at me and like getting mad, like even getting like, worse, like mad. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? Like, I thought I'd resolve this. Like, I don't know, but yeah, I ended up getting on my knees, like, and I assumed saying a sinner's prayer, and I was convicted. And for the first time, I got home. I didn't watch porn. I think I actually turned it on, but I'm like, what am I doing? Like why would I watch this now? You know what I mean? Like, so from that day, I have never watched porn, and the things that entail from that, I've never watched porn since. And so that is the start of my journey. And yeah, so that's where it all begins. And I'll end this video and start another story. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.